What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 six-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. Hey, Doc. Burned out? Ready to just burn the whole hospital down? Well, let's start a fire. Okay, no, not in the hospital, but in your bank account. And from Side Hustler to CEO, my signature one-on-one business coaching program, you'll transform your burnout into a fire and start your own profitable coaching, consulting, or midterm rental business and make clinical cash in 90 days or less. That's right, 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. This is only for doctors who are done being overworked and undervalued and need a way out of the hospital now. With your fire offer, you're not just dreaming about escaping clinical practice, you're building your own emergency exit. In 90 days, you could be your own boss, making bank, and actually enjoying your life again. So are you ready to swap those singed scrubs for CEO status? Then hit me up at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram with the word burn, and let's turn that burnout into the bag. What's up, Doc? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you back for another episode today. Today is a little bit different. I'm literally taking you behind the scenes of Ignite, the accelerator that helps doctors to make 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less in their coaching, consulting, or education business. So I am going to, like I said, be sharing with you a little bit about what it's like inside of Ignite. Yes, I'm telling you and showing you that I can help you to make 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less, especially if you are brand new at coaching, consulting, or setting up an education business, or if you're kind of stuck at a sales pause, I'll say. If it's been a little bit since you've signed a client or you're looking to start signing high ticket clients, Ignite is the accelerator for you, and that is the magic of the work that we do inside of the accelerator. So like I said, today I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of our weekly coaching call. So we have coaching calls every single week. And this is from our very first session from this cohort of doctors that came through. I was coaching one of my clients, which you'll hear in just a minute, about how to uncover her mindset about sales, about marketing, etc. So we're going to be talking more specifically about sales in this piece, and you'll see how she kind of works through it. And I think what she's going to share is going to probably relate to some of the thoughts that you might have in regards to the topic at hand. So my client, where you're going to hear this conversation with, was making one of the mistakes that I see that is so common for other doctor entrepreneurs, and that inspired me to put on a masterclass, which I'm going to be having next week, that talks more about the mistakes that I see doctor entrepreneurs making in their businesses and exactly how to fix them so they can start signing clients and cut back on their clinical time. The class is called 5 Mistakes Doctor Entrepreneurs Make When Selling Their Expertise Online. And that's this coming Thursday, July 31st, 2025. It's going to be 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Standard Time on Zoom. If you would like to register and save your seat, hit the show notes. There's going to be a link for you to save your seat there. It's completely free to come on to the masterclass, but more specifically, this masterclass is going to be for you if you're a doctor, meaning, of course, you're a physician, you're a pharmacist, podiatrist, chiropractor, whatever, who is still working clinically, but also has a side hustle where you're coaching, consulting, sharing, or teaching your expertise online as a side hustle, but your income is really not matching your effort. You are posting, you're planning, you're branding, and maybe you even have a whole funnel, but still no one's buying. You want to consistently have 4 or 5 figure months and buy down your clinical time without begging for clients or staying all night, up all night, piecing it together alone. And you're committed to making your business work in a way that is not going to burn you out. During this masterclass, I'm going to talk to you about what to stop wasting your already limited time on that's not going to lead you to income, exactly why your business is not generating consistent cash, how to make offers without overthinking or feeling salesy, how to turn your experience into a client attracting machine, and more specifically, what's keeping you from making money and how to fix it so you can, like I said, cut back on your clinical hours. So I invite you to come, like I said, Thursday, July 31st, 2025 at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hit the link in the show notes for your special seats for the class. I'm so excited. You're going to want to bring a pen and a pad or open up your notes app and make sure you take a ton of notes. It's going to be highly actionable, really exciting, and I'm super excited about it. But like I said, without further ado, let you peek in on the conversation that I had with my client in order for this whole masterclass to even get put on. So enjoy the coaching. Let's do a belief flow right now together. And the reason why I want to pick on you is because we were talking about your thoughts about sales.
Yeah.
We talked to each other. So let's make that the circumstance. And this is literally how I would journal or write this down on a piece of paper. This is a process that you can do in your journal, but I do suggest that you write it down and
Okay.
not just write it in your head. It helps to get it out on paper. And so I'm going to walk you guys through literally, like I said, how you are able to do so. Okay. So the circumstance is sales. Okay. Tell me, when I say sales, what do you think about that?
I think about, like when you go, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is like when you go to like a car dealership and they're trying to like pressure you to buy something or convince you to buy something.
Okay. What else did you say to me about sales?
So just for some background for everyone else. So I have a page where I post financial content, but I don't use call to action because I feel like it's going to irritate people. And I consistently don't want to irritate people. So I leave some of the call to actions out because I don't want to feel like annoying. So, sometimes I feel like a call to action is similar to like kind of being annoying if you do it often enough.
Exactly. Thank you for giving us that background.
Yeah.
So sales is annoying. How else does sales make you feel?
It kind of feels like you're trying to push someone to do, like you're pushing them to do something. I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's what it feels like.
Any other thoughts that you have about sales? I'm trying to also remember what you told me. Oh, you said it's icky. I
Yeah.
remember you.
Yeah, I use the word icky.
That makes you feel. Would you say that makes you feel icky, or how would you say that makes you feel?
I feel like it makes me uncomfortable to do it, to be honest with you. Like I'd rather just not sell or think about selling. I'm
Okay.
kind of like avoiding it in a way.
Cool. Let me say one thing here, and Biasha already knows about this, but my favorite tool in conjunction with this is this free website called thefeelingswheel.com. We are not able to actually label our feelings. We just know we don't have a word for it. So the feelingswheel.com is a great place for you to find words for actually what you're feeling inside. So looking at it on the screen, Sean, is there any other feelings that come up for you?
Um, I would say nervous because it's like I said, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Um, I could say embarrassed if, for example, like if I have like if I have a thought of what a sales conversation would go like and it doesn't go that way, I think that potentially would make me feel embarrassed.
Anything else that is popping out to you?
I would say disappointed as well. And this is something that I'm also starting to learn. Like I love talking about finance, and sometimes people may not share that same enthusiasm. And there's like a little bit of a disappointment when I feel like the energy is not what I'm expecting it to be. So I tend to, especially when it comes to like trying to encourage sales, to avoid the disappointment, I just don't like let it get there too. So I would say disappointed is something that I would write down as well.
That's really good. Let me go back to what I got here. Thank you for that. And thank you for
Mhm.
being vulnerable and sharing. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So when you hear the word sales, Sharon says it's like pressuring or convincing someone to buy from me. That's icky. It makes her feel annoying, pushy, uncomfortable, nervous, embarrassed, disappointed, all of those things. So my next question to you, Sharon, is when you think about sales, so what have you been doing as far as sales in your so far? You
Not
said
selling. That's what I've been doing, not selling.
you said not putting
Yeah, not pulling call to actions. And again, for some background, like I feel like I'm a case study right now, but me and Kim were talking and she's like, so what have you sold to date? And I'm like, nothing. And I was literally telling her, I get DMs from people like, oh, I would love to do like a one-on-one session with you. And I'm like, no, it's not ready. So I feel like I'm actually like pushing sales away because I'm trying to avoid it so bad. Like I'll do a free IG live all day, any day. But once it feels like I have to charge, it just feels uncomfortable.
that's right, you are having free IG live sales class, finance classes.
Yeah.
Anything else that you're doing or not doing right now as far as
Um, I almost feel like I'm not growing in my business because of that. I'm not like taking it to the next level. Like the expectation of where I feel like I would have been by now, I feel like it's a little bit stagnant.
okay, I think that's good. So what are some of the things that you're saying to yourself about sales when this is all going on? Like when you said it before, I just want you to reiterate it again because that's really what I mean by beliefs.
Hmm.
When someone DMs you and says, hey, I'd love to get on a one on one with you, and I think you can help me. What do you say back to them? And then in essence, what are you really saying to yourself?
I say to them like, "Oh no." Well, in the scenario that happened, I was basically telling the person that DM me like, "Oh well, at this time I'm not really doing one-on-ones. Um, you know, the product is going to be launched in a few months." But honestly, I feel like I just didn't feel comfortable moving. I don't know what it was. Like I was stopping myself from pushing forward in a way.
What else are you potentially saying to yourself when you are mm, not selling anything in the business so far?
What was the last part?
You're not selling anything in the business so far. This first part, like when you're
Hmm.
not, what belief is about yourself or about sales is being reinforced?
That I can't really sell, that I'm not really, a salesperson or someone who, is capable of selling. And this may be like um something like a doctor mindset. We spend so many years doing what we do. I feel like I could see a patient with my eyes closed, right? Like that is something that I feel very comfortable doing. But because this feels like a very fresh territory for me in terms of like entrepreneurship and just having a business, it's I'm like scared sometimes to do something for the first time, because I haven't had practice. I haven't done it many times. It looks different, obviously, for every person. So it's like you're learning as you do it, and that makes me uncomfortable. So that's why I'd rather just do it for free because then there's no expectations. Nobody can get mad at a free IG live.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Mm.
And so the results has been so far, you've not made any money in the business, correct?
No.
So perfect example of sales is like pressuring or convincing someone to buy. Sales is icky. The direct, like I said, skipping past all of this other stuff, action is that there's no money being made in your business. This process is not to bring judgment to yourself.
No, no, I understand.
I just want to say this as well too, just for the record. This is not to bring judgment. It is literally to bring awareness of like, if I'm not getting what I want, like where is this coming from? What needs to change? What needs to shift? And again, it's really it's my thought. Now, I want to 100% and specifically talking about sales. I'm going to say, and I said to you already, it's not going to be comfortable at first. It's not. I think about some of my first sales calls and ooh, child, oh Jesus, I'm so glad I have not listened back to those things. It is going to be uncomfortable because this is doing something brand new for and I use the example with Shayun, and I'll say it for you guys as well too. Hold on, is that if you go back to the very first time you sutured someone, I'm sure that none of us felt comfortable doing that. We might have practiced on pig's feet until we could. Maybe we did an orange. Maybe we were in the cadaver lab. I don't know where we were. But the very first time that we actually got on to a patient and we had to stitch them up, we did not know what the hell was going on. We were like, oh my God, can I really do this? Am I really able to just throw this simple stitch in here? Right? It is the exact same thing with sales and marketing. This is a brand new skill that you guys are going to be developing and learning. So it is not going to feel comfortable at first. So we have to be willing to practice, to learn, to grow, to keep trying. We didn't just stop suturing after we messed up or had to cut out a stitch or whatever. We just didn't say F it and we're not suturing ever again. We have to keep going, whether we were third year medical students or when we were in residency. Biasha, I think about it as far as EM is concerned. It's like the very first time I intubated a patient, I goosed the tube. My attendant had to move over and take over for the intubation for me. I was not good at intubations for the longest time, but I kept going as uncomfortable it was. And the more I learned, the more I made a mistake. I tweaked, I saw what I did right, but I could have done better, evaluated myself, and got more practice. Now I've intubated more people than I can count. I can intubate somebody literally probably upside down and backwards. And I can crack as well too. So I can back myself up in case I've messed up as well too.
Period.
The matter is that part of this is going to be us feeling comfortable in this container with practicing. And that's why I said I want to keep this group small. I keep this group tight because I want you to feel comfortable with messing up, trying again, not getting a yes on your first call, getting a yes on your first call, finding out why so you can continue to do those things as well too. But I also want us to get comfortable with changing our thoughts about our business, our sales, our marketing,
all of those things so that we can get different results. So thinking different thoughts so we can get different results. Does that make sense, you guys? Do you guys have questions about this or any thoughts or reflections about the belief flow that we just did?
No questions. I would just say this it's helpful. I mean, I think all of us know thoughts lead to actions and so forth, but to see it outlined like this, I saw myself in this illustration. I don't know. And for me, there's this feeling of inadequacy. Like, why would somebody want me to be their coach? Even though you have other people saying, yes, you'd be great. I can see this. And so it's getting over that internal feeling of being vulnerable and really feeling inadequate in doing it.
Yeah.
Even though truly, if I'm honest, I can say, okay, it's there, but getting over those hurdles, that mental hurdle.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Other part of what I'm going to teach you, not tonight, but it will be on the videos when you probably put it up this weekend, maybe tomorrow, but definitely over the weekend, is how to change the results. So I'm so glad that you said what you said, because if you go through this and you don't like the result that you're getting, I want to teach you how to reverse engineer that, how to use your actions, meaning the actual practice of what you're doing, to change your thoughts so that you can get a different result. So that's the second half of this. But I wanted to talk, like I said, I wanted to teach you how to actually bring up awareness for yourself, and seeing honestly how you feel about things.
Welcome back. So I am trusting that you got a ton out of that conversation that I had with my client. So many of us doctors have so many thoughts about sales, but it really helps to uncover your thoughts and your feelings about selling, because of course, how can you have a successful business if you are not generating money? If you're not generating money, that means you're not selling. So sales is super important for all of us doctor entrepreneurs to master, and I'm really glad that you got a sneak peek into that conversation. So again, if you want to know more about some of the mistakes that you are probably making in your business and you want to know how to fix them so you can start making some money, so you can cut back on your clinical hours, then join me this Thursday, July 31st, for the 5 mistakes doctor entrepreneurs make when selling their expertise online masterclass. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. Hit the link in the show notes if you want to save your seat. But this class is especially for you if you're currently working clinically and you're sharing your experience somehow online, whether you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an educator, and you're doing this as a side hustle, but the cash is not really coming in the way you need it to be. This is going to be an absolutely transformational, jam-packed, actionable hour of great tips and advice for you to take action on now. And if it is a good fit, then I can share with you a little bit more about how you can join the next round of Ignite, whose doors are opening really soon. Our doors are opening on the 1st, actually. So I am so excited to work with the next group of doctors to make their income go up and up. All right, Doc. So if I do not see you next week live in class on Thursday, July 31st at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, then I'll catch you on the next episode on Thursday. I hope you have an amazing day and go make some money. Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.